welcome to Our Life. Today on Our Life, I have one of my amazing sponsors with me, and she's been here before, Miss Pam Jones, the CEO of River and Word Magazine. And you know when Pam Jones comes to the station, she brings it. So this time, we don't have musical artists, unfortunately, but she has a awesome lineup of authors that will be here with us today. So before we take a quick break and we meet our first author, let me give you a quick removing the mask back. Writing books is all about telling the why, how, and when these events happen in this book, in this person's life, or it might be fiction. So when we come back, we'll have River Author's first guest that will be sitting with us to tell us about her book. So we'll be right back. Now with our first River Author Showcase person with us, and we have Miss Ruby Sanders with us. So I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Miss Pam is doing it again.
Yes, she is.
Because she had the artist on once before, and now she's back with authors. So I know that's going to be even. I don't even, Miss Pam does it.
Yes, she does.
And she comes with it. So your book is the 11th Hour Chronicles.
Yes.
So do you feel writing has always been your purpose?
Actually, I did not know writing was my purpose. I kind of stumbled up on it. And my story is about the storm. So actually a storm pulled out in me what God had in me. So I don't know if you want me to wait to tell you how that came about.
So you said you stumbled
upon it.
Like God put you in it.
Yes.
So did you like to write when you were younger?
I always, when I would find myself frustrated or something, I would write a poem or something.
Okay.
But I never really thought I could write because I had a 5th grade teacher that told me I wasn't a good writer. My sister was in her class 2 years prior, so when she found out I was coming to her class, she said, oh yes, we have her sisters coming. Her sister was a good writer, so I know I'm going to get a great writer. So when I did my first paper, she said, oh, you're not a good writer like your sister. So I never really thought I could write. I gravitated more towards math, but I never really thought I could write.
What made you decide to share your story? Because I know from the little bit I know about the book, it's about the different storms you went through.
Yes.
So what made you decide to share your story? Because most people do not share their stories.
Okay, like I said, I have been doing hair 22 years, and it started the summer of 2017. I went through a series of storms. May of 2017, that was Memorial Day morning, I woke up to a home invasion. Somebody was standing over me, bruised my hand, bruised my thigh, took my whole week's of holiday pay. So it was like I went from looking for a place to live. Then I walked into the salon after moving, and the owner of that salon said, I sold the business. And then after that, Harvey hit. So in a span of 3 months, there was a series of back-to-back storms. So at the time I was in theology school, I thought that's what God wanted me to do. I was doing hair full-time in theology school. So I said, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do at this point? You know, and he said, I want you to write your story, your life's testimony. So he basically shut my life down to write 11th Hour Chronicles. And, you know, it's about God coming through in the 11th hour, because we go through storms, and a lot of times we want God to rescue us like right away, but he always comes in the 11th hour when all hope seems lost. So
I was just going to ask you, how did you come up with the 11th Hour Chronicles? Because I really like that name. What are some words of encouragement that you give to someone else that is scared to share their story?
I would say to share your story, but you have to be ready to share it. write about some intimate details, the storms of divorce. I am a divorcee now, 10 years, but you have to be ready to share it. I couldn't have written this book 10 years ago because I would have been writing from a perspective of anger or bitterness. God had me wait because this book would have been a whole different book. But I would tell somebody that wants to share their story to share your story because the Bible says we overcome by the words of our testimony.
Okay.
And a lot of times, you know, we live in a Photoshop generation where everybody want to Photoshop pictures and make everything look perfect, but we have to be open to sharing the darkest part of our testimonies because I feel like that it's the difficulties or the ugliness of our stories that transitions us into the strong and powerful people that God wants us to be. So if we're too ashamed to tell our testimony, then we can't help others overcome. You know, and we've all have gone through some storm at some point in our life.
And still are.
Yes,
Still are.
and we get strength and courage from other people's stories, and it makes us feel like we're not alone. Because a lot of times when you're in the storm, you feel like you're all alone in the storm.
Exactly.
And God is always in the midst of the storm with us. Although we can't feel Him most times when we're going through, that's when He's there the most.
Okay. So let me ask you something about, and you guys check, because I like the title of this. So did you, after you finish this book, I'm being messy now. Did you call this teacher and say, let me mail you a copy of this book?
Well,
I'm just saying, because she told you couldn't
I
write.
know.
So
Well,
I would have, is she still living?
I'm not sure. She was an older teacher, so I'm not sure if she's still alive. But
Hey, if she's not, I would send it to her family
Yes,
members. Your mama
yes.
said I couldn't write.
yes,
So here you go.
Yes.
I have a whole book.
yes. God
Would that
is
be
good.
evil to do?
Well,
I'm just
well, maybe it would tell her you should never doubt somebody's potential because we all have potential, and some of us have untapped potential, and that's what this book came from, a untapped part of my potential that I didn't know I had. You know?
And the reason why I say that, I'm being funny, but a lot of teachers today will tell kids that are in school, you're not gonna be nothing.
Yes.
You're gonna be the little thug in the street, what you doing now. You're not gonna amount
Yes.
to anything.
Wow.
And she told you couldn't write, and you got a whole book right here.
Yes.
So like,
And
really,
I want to say
That's why I
something
said it.
about that because the book dates back to my childhood up to current and about me growing up in the home of domestic violence. And then afterwards, my mom when she left my father, we struggled. We lived from house to house and of different family members to finally my mom's Section 8 came through. So we lived in a struggle, and the teacher didn't know, you know, coming to school what I may have been going through, you know, and her words could have encouraged me to write, or like it did, it discouraged me. But you never know what a child is going through while they're coming to class or whatever. But we were dealing with a whole lot, you know.
yeah. And most teachers, if they really don't take time to get to know their students,
Right.
they won't know that.
Right.
And they'll just look at what they are.
Yes.
Even as adults, we as adults do that same thing. We look at other adults and we listen to what the other adults' dreams and stuff, you know, want to be or what they
Yes.
aspiring to be. And most adults will shut that down on a person. You can't do this.
Yes.
I was told by a family member over 9 years ago. I said I want to do I'm doing a TV show on TV, and she's on TV, and she fell out laughing.
Wow.
I've been doing this for 9 years, and
Look
been
at
on TV ever
God.
since. So you can't do people
Yes.
in that manner,
Yes.
or think what they're trying to do is just a joke,
Right.
because it's not.
Right.
Sometimes it's not.
Right, because we're all in a process of becoming, you know, like Michelle Obama
Yeah.
says, we're all in a process of becoming, and just because we might be in a season where you don't see my potential, or I might be in a struggle and I might not look like what my destiny is, that doesn't mean that it's meant, it's not meant for me, or like for you to walk into your gift or your calling of being on TV,
Yeah.
you know, because a lot of people judge us based on our struggles.
And this
that's
is not what I wanted to do. This I
Wow.
kind of like you said, you walked into this. I kind of walked into it because some other people brought me into it. This is not
Yes.
that was not on my mind.
Yes.
Being on from Louisiana,
Yes.
this is not far from.
Wow.
So,
And that's something because, you know, when God formed us, He put everything in us before we entered into the world.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
He said, "Before I formed you in the belly, I knew you." You know,
Yeah.
So it's like all that He has for us, it's already in us. But sometimes, you know, when we go through life circumstances, we could look so far from what He has created us to be.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes the storms to pull out the things in us
Yeah.
that He has in us that we don't know we have. So that's how I birthed 11th Hour Chronicles.
I love
Through
it.
pain, through suffering. I mean, it's a lot in there, but it's more than a novel because I also offer self-help
Okay.
in there too. So, you know, a novel, you're basically like telling a story. But I was like, I can't tell my story and air out all my dirty laundry because there's some, I'm very transparent in the book without being a guide, being that voice to women. Like, you know, sometimes we could do entirely too much in a relationship. So I'm like, I'm that voice like, hey, you're doing too much. You know, I'm that voice to kind of alert us because, you know, we all want to be loved. Most women want to find love. And sometimes, you know, we accept mistreatment just
Yeah.
to be in the company of a man. So I'm that voice like, hey, you're doing too much. Or, hey, now you know you need to walk away. It's time to walk away. So I'm that voice. So I'm not just telling my story, but I'm giving advice based on my experiences.
Okay. Well, I love it. So I want to say again, thank you for coming to sit with us. Like I said, Pam Jones.
Yes, she is.
She brings it when she
wonderful.
brings
Yes.
people in here. So she brings it, and you've kicked it off. So when we return, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our next River Arthur artist. We're back now, guys, and I have the second River Arthur artist here with us today, and that is Miss Enola.
Yes.
Oh, praise Jesus, I said that right, y'all. Oh, you've been doing hair for 23 years. You're a life coach, self-esteem coach, educator, beauty consultant. You do a little bit of everything.
Yes.
In kind of different genres.
Yes.
What inspired you to write?
Actually, I knew it was something else that I was called to do. And when you're a hairstylist, you know, a lot of clients look at you to be a doctor, a lawyer, a counselor.
Yes.
And I got invited to go to schools and talk to different students at beauty schools, and that's how things got started. And then they started asking for, you know, mentors, you know, looking for someone to mentor students. So that's how I got started, just looking at the needs of the people.
Why do you think it's important for people to pursue their dreams?
It's important because your destiny is attached to someone else's destiny. And as you climb up the ladder, you always need to have the mindset to pull someone up with you. And I think that's very important.
So let me ask you something. When it comes to writing, a lot of people today will write books and they don't even have like ghostwriters. What do you think about that?
I feel it's not, I won't say it's not coming from a pure place, but whenever it comes directly from you, I feel that the reader, because there are really readers out here, and there are some that really that's their go-to place to get their answers. So if it comes from the purity of your heart, and if you've been anointed and are called in that area, it's no doubt that someone's life will be changed from that.
Now, see, with me, most people tell me, especially what I do, to do what do they call it? A storyboard or a vision board,
Yes.
and write down stuff. I don't do that, and I cannot do that because I actually visualize everything up here,
Yes.
and it stays up there. So I'm like, why am I taking time? To me, it's a waste of time of doing a vision board and all that, because I have it up here of what I want to do in any situation, whatever I'm dealing with in life. So do you think that's I'm doing it the wrong way? Let me just say that. You think I'm doing it the wrong way?
Well, actually, you have to do what works for you. And there's many people that you will come across that's looking for answers. What may work for me may not work for you. But if it worked for you and they have taken you to different levels of success, share it. It just may work. It may be someone else's answer. So I wouldn't knock that out.
So tell us about adjusting your crown, because I like that. Adjusting your crown. Tell us about that. Turn around and just got your picture on the back. Tell us about that.
Adjusting Your Crown is a book that I refer your gift and talent to a crown. We all have one. It's not designed to be put in a box on the shelf. It's designed to be worn.
Okay.
And many of us do not recognize we have a crown because of life. It could have been, our background, failures, mistakes, losing a loved one, different things you go through in life. We have a tendency to put our crown down. Nothing can take away that you have a crown, but sometimes we need some strategies and principles of how to pick it back up. And I knew it was very important because I experienced that myself. So before I could tell the world about adjusting their crown, I had to adjust my own.
So how and when did you realize you had a crown? Because like you just said, most little girls, because of whatever they're going through in life or whoever they've come across that told them the wrong thing, don't think they have a crown. What made you realize you had one?
What made me realize was the different people that I didn't even realize that was watching me. And it was particularly one Sunday, a young lady walked up to me and told me how she had been watching me for a period of time, and that I had been a light, that she watched my walk, she watched my loyalty, and how much it blessed her. And when many more, began to tell me the same thing, I knew that the time was right then. And most of the time you feel, when I get this right, when I get that right. But I knew that I had something in me. It was many, and as I look back, it was many things I overcame. It was many stories that I can tell. Yeah, there was a lot of things that I wanted to get better, but there was a lot of things I realized I was actually walking into my better, and it was time to share it.
So you're going to write another book?
I will write another book.
So do you like writing?
I love writing. I love writing. I love it. Actually, in the airport a couple weeks ago, I actually wrote a book that was complementary to Adjusting Your Crown, because I realized once you adjust your crown, how do you walk into that new? If you have come accustomed, it was a lot of things in my life that just was a part of my lifestyle. I made it a lifestyle, and I actually share how I wore a mask. I wore a mask for years.
Yeah.
And in front of people, I had my mask on, and I was happy and I was fine. But once I got a home, I took that mask off, and I had low self-esteem, no self-worth, and I was actually in domestic violence too. And what my abuser told me, I didn't realize that I believed that. What others said, I really believed that. It wasn't something that, sometimes deep is called into deep. You have to go deep down and see what's the problem. And what I really believed that, and I had to take that mask off. I had to, if I wanted to pursue my dreams. And actually, God shared that with me. He said, I have a plan for you. I have a road of destiny for you to travel, but you in the mask cannot go. Now, I cannot tell you I was able to take that mask off because it was a part of my wardrobe, what I wore.
Yeah.
But when I took it off, I loved the freedom that came along with it. And it's just like when you taste something good, you want more of it. And when I got a taste of that freedom, I got addicted to it. I want more and more of it. And I shared that in my book, and that's one of the highlights, that many people come back and share that they wore a mask also and just wasn't even aware or ashamed to share.
Yeah, most of the people are scared to be transparent and take their mask off because they're too busy, because society, especially today, judges everything we do.
Yes.
Everything we do. And I find myself saying from time to time, and I've said, and I don't care who don't like it, I don't care about society.
Yes.
God is my judge. I don't care what you say about me.
Yes.
Because you have to know, a person has to really know themselves.
Yes.
You have to really, really, truly know yourselves and own up to your faults and stuff you do wrong. You can't just own up to the good stuff. You got to own up to the bad stuff too. You know, so, and I'm that type of person. If I do something bad and I'm called out on it, hey, I just let the chips fall over me. Yeah, I said, okay, what we gonna do? You don't like me no more? Okay, it is what it is.
Yes.
You know, what can I do about it? You know, so what are you most passionate about? Because you've been doing hair for 20 some years, and now you're writing books, and you do a little bit of everything.
Yes.
What are you most passionate about?
I'm really passionate about hair because I actually, I was 16 years old getting started.
Okay.
And it's a wonderful thing to be able to beautify someone inside and out. And when someone is able to get out of your chair and leave and send you a text message and tell how they feel beautiful. So I can honestly say that's my first love. But actually, as I walk into something new, as being an author, my heart is open, you know, to whatever it is that's in me. I would like to see the new me. And I can tell you this week I can see where the old man was trying to come back, but I had to tell the old man to kick rocks. Kick rocks.
Well, y'all heard it right here. She
Yes.
said kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
I want to tell you thank you for being here with us today.
Yes, thank you for
You
having
came
me.
a long way from Lafayette, Louisiana. I
Yes.
thought you lived here. You came a long way.
Yes.
So definitely safe travels back. But thank you for being here with us.
Yes.
And you guys check out definitely adjusting your crown, because I like that. I like that. So when we return, we will have Miss Bossy herself, Pam Jones, the CEO of River and Word magazine. So y'all personally, because she'll be right back with us. So we'll be right back. We're back now. I have the CEO founder, and I did call her bossy when I went into the break, Miss Pam Jones from River and Word magazine. First of all, thank you for being here again with me and bringing your talent that you work with to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I
Because you always
appreciate
bring
you.
awesome people.
Thank you.
Now we have authors. We did musicians before, and that was awesome. So thank you for being here. And she's bossy in a good way. She's bossy. She's bossy in a good way. So you have the magazine. You have the River Store. You do a little bit of everything. What inspires you to continue to work with different genres of artists?
Well, it actually was God praying, and it started off with just doing the magazine, reaching out with the gospel, because I used to do a lot of articles and write, biblically, and do interviews and all that. And then God, as time transitioned, I said, okay, God, we need to move to the next level. What do you want me to do next? And he said, I need you to gather the singers, because this world has gone into a rough place. And so God is calling up this season the singers, the ministers, the dancers with the flags, and he's calling us up higher. And so he told me to continue with the singers, but also bring in the authors, because the word has to get out as well. So the psalmists always go first, the banners and the flaggers, then the word comes in the ministers. So I started off with the recording artist, because that's what God, the order he gave me. And then it got to the point where advertising has gone to a whole nother place now. So people don't really need to be in your magazine to get their stuff out. So that's kind of like a complimentary almost thing now. So I said, okay, God, we got to shift. What do you want me to do next? And he gave me the River Store. So we did that for a little bit. And we shifted out the River Store into the River Health. Because the Lord was showing me where people are not healthy like they need to be. And they need to restore their bodies. So we have what we call Soma Derm. It's a gel. And it's all natural. no side effects. It's medically approved. It's been awarded by the medical association. So I started River Health. It's an online store where you can buy your gel. We also have for weight loss, because what's happening is dancers and singers, some of them are out of shape, and they don't have the wind and the stamina physically to perform or minister on the stage, on the platform, or the street or whatever. They get winded. And so God's like, get my people healthy. So I got God connected me with Nolan before the gel, but I connected with Nolan, and then Nolan invited me and started talking to me about the gel. So then I became a partner, and then I know you're part of the team as well. Yeah, so that gel has helped a lot of people, their health, arthritis, weight loss, mental clarity, sleep pattern is better. A lot of things are happening with the gel. Men's stamina is better. It's just it's a win-win-win. So you regain your youth back, and so that was a plus that God had me do, and to get it out there to the public, so that not only are my recording artists going to be healthier and have more win and lose weight, but also the community and the nation, basically, because the product can go all around the world. Anybody in the world can get the product. So we transitioned to that. And then the Lord recently told me to get back to writing. So I have a book that's
Because
being
you write
edited.
yourself.
Yeah, I had 2 books on Amazon a while back. And so I'm on my 3rd book, and it's in editing right now. It's going to be called The Toy Maker.
I was just going to ask you if you could tell us the name.
Yeah,
of
The
it.
Toy Maker is coming. It's already together. It's just waiting on the last editing, and then it goes to the market. And The Toy Maker God gave me because of relationships. I've been through some, bad relationships, divorce, the whole 9 yards. I said, God, something got to give somewhere. We need to get something out for women. And there are things out there. There are books out there that are good. But personally, I said, you know what? We need some tools and to be able to recognize these toy makers. And a toy maker is basically a man that pretty much just takes a woman and play with her. And when he's done with the toy, he puts her back in the toy box on the shelf until he's ready again. So that's the toy maker that's coming in. That's all I'm going to say, because I want people to get the book and read the rest.
I think, when it comes to relationships, and I think we talked about that, I just did a relationship show. You have to, a woman has to know themselves.
Yes.
But I think we all have, and I said on that show, you all have that fairy tale. You want to have this fantastic relationship, then you want to have this fairy tale wedding. You have to take him home with you because you signed some papers that he got to go. And after all that day is over with, then where are you?
Yes.
And half of them are broke because you done paid $10,000+ for a wedding. So you have to kind of know yourself and know your goals and what direction you want to go in life, I think, as women. You have some awesome authors here with us today. I've enjoyed 2 of them that we've had so far with us today. I can't wait till Miss Trevay. That's the last one that will be with us today.
Trevay is our newest author. Amazing you put her last because she's the last one to come into the family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, I didn't know
she
that. I just did the just outline that, man.
She's she's a singer too, though. She's spoken word singing.
I've
author.
heard her.
She's powerful.
She does a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit
you
of
were
everything.
at the event, my cousin's event.
Yes, and
Kim
I also
Mason.
heard her at Up Social
online
Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of people heard her.
So
'cause
yes, I
that got
heard.
around pretty well.
I'm gonna try not to make you. I'm trying not to make her sing off the cuff today.
Oh,
as
she can
well.
do it though.
Yeah, I know she can because I've seen her do that.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna try not to do that to her today. We're gonna talk about her book today.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
So what's next for the river and word? What's next? Because you have your hands in about 500 things.
I wish that was true, but we're close. No, what's next is we have our annual River Awards, and you joined us
Yes,
the last one. Yeah,
I was a guest. I
So-
want to participate this year. I got to see if I can stay on my best behavior and participate.
Yeah, I'm
in
about to
that
watch you because
this
we're
year.
gonna have line dancing. Woohoo! So I prayed about. I said, God, what to do next? Because I got so many phone calls, Monique. I'm tired, Pam. I need a vacation. I'm tired. I said, me too. So I said, God, we're all tired. What can we do? For the next River Awards. I wanted to do something special for the people, and God said, they need to be refreshed. Do like a mini retreat. So we're going to do a full day. Get there at 9 o'clock registration, 9:30. We're going to do a little prayer walk because the ladies that owns the place. Her name is Deborah Williams, and the name of the place is Annie's Cottage. It's in Fresno.
Okay.
And so she's been asked to run for mayor of the city, and so I'm like, oh wow! So we're gonna pray over her land, pray for that position, and just in general, pray for everybody that's gonna be there. And then after that, we have breakfast, classes. And the classes is going to be geared toward what each person needs. Like if you're an author, if you're a business person, a manager, so we're going to have classes geared like that.
Yeah.
And then from there, we're going to have recognition certificates out for the people who complete the classes, and we're going to have recognition of the kingdom builders. And that person is remember we gave kingdom builders. We give a plaque out for people that are helping our community grow, and so we have a couple of community builders that we're going to recognize, and then we're going to have line dancing. The owner of Annie's Cottage has this fan line dancing she does. Girl, it's bad. I think she'd be popping it. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have just a fun retreat, a barbecue, snacks all day, and the dancing, and then in the evening we're gonna have the River Award. Our annual award where we give out the River trophies and recognize the individuals that have come through River and the Word that are doing great out there.
And you did win an award this year for River.
Yes.
River Word.
This is our second Best Magazine of the Year. In 2018, we're Best Magazine of the Year by Extraordinary People. And this year, we won the IRAA, which took us national, because they're a national award program. So we won that for Best Magazine. Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank
so
you.
As always, I know when you come with it. As always, thank you for being here. When we come back, we'll have Miss Trevay
Yes.
with us, and we're going to talk about her. What's the name of her book?
Dear Daughters.
Dear Daughter. I want to say Daddy's Daughters, but dear,
Well, we
dear,
are.
Dear Daughter. So
Yeah.
when we come back, we'll have Rivers author, artist, Trevay. She will be with us and to talk about her book and what's going on with her. And I'll try not to get her to sing while she's here as well. I do a
Since it's a book
poem.
show.
I do a poem.
But you're okay if you just feel like you want to do that. Is it okay, Trevay? I mean, it's up to y'all. I'll be good and let y'all have that.
So we'll be right back.
Hello. I just stopped by to remind you of how fabulous you are, how wonderful you are, how God made you to do wonderful and miraculous things in the world.
We're back now, guys, with River author, artist, the final one that we had time to share with today. Again, thank you to Miss Pam Jones from River and Word. She always brings it when she brings in a house full of guests here with me to sit here today, and they're always awesome. So we have now Miss Trevay Nicole, and I'm going to say her middle name because that's my middle name. How are you today? Thank you.
I'm doing good.
Thank you for coming and hang out with me
Thank you for
early this
having me.
morning. What inspired you to write? And that's one of the questions I've asked Miss Enola and Miss Ruby. What inspires you to write? Because that's not my thing.
Well, originally I wasn't writing. I was just reading. I grew up originally in a household that wasn't really a good situation, and I ended up living with my grandparents, and they raised me, and my grandmother really sheltered me. I was not able to go outside and play or anything like that, but she always would bring a book home for me to read. And so I would just read all day, every day. And then it got to the point where I started writing. It made me fall in love with words. And so, in the midst of all the situations, the things that I was going through, the back and forth with my mother and my grandmother trying to get her to do right, I would just write. I would write, and I would show, my aunts, I would show my grandmother what I wrote, and a lot of the time when I would show what I wrote, they would laugh it off or look at it and say, something wrong, like what's going on? And it was just funny, but that was my escape. And so every time I wrote, I just felt free. That was my release from what was going on. And I just was able to find myself. That's just who I was. I was quiet and to myself because I didn't say much because all of it was written down on paper.
So do you think writing is a lot of wordplay? And how you use the words to bring forth some, just a different feel, and not, do you think that's a little bit of writing as well?
I think it is a lot of, well, for me, it is a lot of writing, it's wordplay. And the wordplay I've done has been more so with scripture. And it just works that way. Able to fit it in, which I wasn't doing originally, but I'm able to fit it in now. I guess the more that I grow in my relationship with God, and I'm understanding and replacing words that may be negative with more positive words and with scripture, which is the truth. So I think that's a huge part of words when I'm writing poetry or writing books.
Okay. Tell us about Dear Daughter.
Dear Daughter, it originally started off as a letter to myself, me telling my story, me actually getting down how I feel and my way of going through that walk of forgiveness, because that walk is a hard walk to take.
Yeah.
We can say we forgive, and then we haven't let things go. And we find ourselves right back where we started, in that same pit of unforgiveness, because we haven't let it go, and we remember what this person did and what this person said. We may forgive them and take them back, and once they do something wrong that first time, we bring all the other stuff back up. And so we really truly have not forgiven. And myself, what I would do is, when things happen, I hold it all in. I don't react right away. I hold it in, and then when I can't take it anymore, I let all of it out at one time. And
So how do you let it all out? Because sometimes, how do you let it out? Do you write it, or you just, how do you let it out?
I don't do the same thing that I used to. It used to be where I would get upset and throw a tantrum.
Okay.
I had a bad temper, and a lot of people don't know that, because I would hold stuff in. And I may be by myself when I would have my temper tantrum, but literally, it would be physical. I hit stuff, slam doors, slam cabinets.
You?
Yeah, yes. I'm delivered now. I don't do
You don't do that?
anymore. No, I don't. But it got to a point where one night, I had all of this stuff. I can remember I just graduated with my master's degree, and I was at that point where I said I had forgiven, and I was upset during that time. And I was holding it all in, and God actually woke me up in the middle of the night, and he had me go to the Word, and I read Ezekiel chapter 2 and 3. And he told me to start writing. As soon as I read that, I opened that computer, and I think it's in Ezekiel 3 where he says, "Eat the words that I give you." And that really just stuck with me, and I just literally opened my computer, and I just began to start typing stuff out, and I got Dear Daughter a year and a half later.
So I would think, and I think Miss Enola is still here with us, I think each of you would say that writing is a healing. It's some type of healing
It is.
to get past whatever we've been through. Tell us about Shift This Place.
Shift This Place, I actually was writing a little bit at the same time that I was writing the book. And I obviously, when I was writing, I still was growing while I was writing, so there were things that I had to go back and change. There were things that I had to go back to other chapters and add as I was going through my experiences. And I know at the time that I started Shift This Place, I was going through some things at work and transitioning with my job. And I just realized that each place that I was in, it was better in some ways. You know, you always hear the grass is greener on the other side.
And that's not always true.
Right. And
At
there
all.
was some things that were better, but it just seemed like, okay, I realized every place has its problems. There will always be people in your life that you won't agree with, or that won't like you, won't like what you're doing, won't like what you're about. You could walk in every day with a smile on your face, and they question, and they have questioned, why are you always smiling?
Yeah.
Why are you so optimistic? Stop being so positive all the time. Be realistic. And it just got me thinking, like, why wrong it is to just start your day off, to just live your life that way, just thinking negatively all the time. And on top of those negative personalities that you have to interact with each and every day on the daily, there's a bigger thing that's going on. While this person is stuck on whatever it is, obviously, you know, they may have gone through something that caused them to be that way. But while they're stuck on that, there's so much else that's going on. There's drugs are bad in our city. Human trafficking, prostitution. People are dying.
Murders.
Yes, people are dying
Yeah,
every day
every
from
day.
all this different stuff. And I just found myself like, God, wow, it's such it's way bigger picture. It's so much bigger than us. I'm like, God, can you just change it? Why do we have all this going on in this world? We need change. People are dying. And I remember as a child, something funny. I would go outside, and when the situation was bad, and I would start asking God questions. And I'm like, God, one of the things I would ask him is, can you have my grandma live to 160 or at least 200?
She
Can
said
people start-
160.
Can people start living until they're 500? Like, Lord, people are dying. Can they
Oh,
live
my
longer?
God.
And but I mean, the world, it's always something different that's coming at us and that's killing us.
Yeah.
And so with Shift This Place, just asking God to come in and change our hearts, change our minds. We need healing. It's just asking him to come in and change the world situation, not just my situation.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. You're going to make you do a poem or something. Up in here. Are you going to write another book? Are you going to continue to write?
I am going to write another book.
So you sing, you do poems. I've heard you do all of that. Which one you love the most? They all tie in together because
They
you
do.
have to write everything down.
They do.
What do you?
I actually would say that right now, it may have been different before, but right now I enjoy singing the most
Really?
because I'm writing it down, but it's just on the paper. It hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
So I love singing, and I've even found myself, as I'm praying, I'll just start singing to God. As I'm going around the house, I'll be singing, and it just brings me such joy to just open my mouth and make sound. And that's where I really just find myself. I could be anywhere. I could walk. I remember one day I was walking out of work, and I was singing that I was walking to my car, and it was somebody looking at me crazy. But it just brings me joy, and it brings me happiness. It warms my heart. And I feel like it's a blessing to be able to do that. I often think, I don't know what I'd be able to do if I couldn't sing. And I'm just grateful for that gift. And so I just use it whenever and wherever.
Okay. So what would be a song that you just come up with off the top of your head right now to heal the world?
To heal the world, you want me to sing it or say it?
You got one? Yeah. You want to sing it?
I'll sing it.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Okay. God, we need you. We need you to come. God, we need you. We need you to fall. We need your presence right here and right now. God, we need you. God, we need you. We need you to heal. Need you to transform, to break every chain. God, we need you. We need your love, and we need your joy. We need your peace. God, we need you. So let your power fall right now. Every nation, every city, let your power fall right now. In our homes and at our jobs, let your power fall right now. On every family, in every relationship, let your power fall right now. Let your power fall right now. I can keep going.
Thank you. That was wonderful. That wasn't a freestyle. You already had that written down.
No, that was a freestyle. I didn't know what was going on.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was wonderful. Oh, that was real good. So I want to say thank you so much for coming out today.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you to all my authors that were here today. Thank you to River and Word, one of my sponsors of this show, for being here today and bringing these awesome authors to come and give us a little knowledge on writing and how it heals and how it helps you to go through different things. I won't ever be a writer. And I used to read books. I have a bookshelf full of books. I can't, tell me one more thing before we get out of here. How can I go back to reading? I have a bookshelf full of books. I used to actually go to the bookstore and buy books and read books. I cannot, as soon as I start reading now, I go to sleep. How can I get back to reading? Because I have Michelle Obama's book. That was a gift to me. I haven't started reading it yet.
Well, I will say, I think that the Audible app helps. When I'm listening, like while I'm driving, I'll listen to books. And it'll make me want to go and find that book and actually open it up and read it.
I used to read all the time. Sometimes I would read a novel in one day because it was that good. And now when I pick up a book and call myself going to read, I'm like this. Ooh,
I would get
I'm
an
knocked
Audible
out.
book and listen.
And then that should help me to go back to reading? Okay,
If
okay.
it's something good that you'll like when you're listening to it, it'll make you want to go.
Yeah, because I'll listen to stuff more than anything.
And you'll miss it. Like when I'm listening to Audible, I'm like, oh, I need to highlight that in the book. I need to find where it says that, and you can't because it's just playing.
Okay, see, I
So
hope
it'll
I
make
have
you
that
wanna
same
go.
attitude. If I don't, I'm going to call Miss Pam and let her know that your radon it's not working out. So, again, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for that wonderful song you just did. To River and Word again, thank you for bringing these awesome authors here to spend time with me today. So, guys, until next time, always empower, always encourage, and continue to remove your mask.